How difficult is this tap dance for Democrats who, take for instance Bernie Sanders, for many years railed against the dangers of free trade agreements when it came to protecting American jobs? John?
I think it's a very difficult tap dance, in particular because of the way the Democratic Party has changed. In reality, the Democratic Party, at its roots, has become more of a pro-free trade policy than Republicans. However, these candidates are sort of scared to come out and say it. Democrats represent the more upscale, metropolitan, trade-dependent parts of the economy in Congress and in the United States Senate. But they're continuing to defer to sort of a yesterday's vision of what labor union opposition, environmental opposition to trade policy. And they criticize President Trump for the way he has gone after China. But because they're concerned about their political elements of their political base, they won't embrace things like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which was, in fact, the alternative to what Donald Trump is doing right now. So that is a very, very awkward position for this field to be in.
You know, Kayla, it strikes me that the crowd was generally able to skate past anything but criticism of the way Trump is handling trade. Joe Biden coming out and saying, look, if we don't set the trade policy, China will, was about the closest to being an aggressive thought on trade. In the coming weeks, do you anticipate these Democratic candidates are going to be pressed on how do you resolve the trade issue?
Well, it depends on what happens with the trade issue if the White House chooses to resolve it in its own way. But I think that President Trump not being an ideological president on trade specifically, and even to some degree on health care, has made it really difficult for the Democratic field to define exactly what he's doing wrong and what they would do right instead. They say, for instance, that tariffs are bad, but they also wouldn't remove them. Elizabeth Warren, you just heard her say trade policy benefits big corporations. She wants ag and labor at the table. But this administration has actually been criticized for having labor so involved in the negotiations. They've been criticized by their own party for that. And the U.S. Trade Representative has advisory committees from ag and labor that are weighing in on all of these. So it's hard to see exactly what they would do differently and exactly what President Trump is doing wrong, although they will all say, and they all did last night, that he is doing it wrong, that his trade strategy is not working.
And healthcare was really driving the discussions last night in the debate. I want to play that exchange between Julian Castro and former Vice President Joe Biden.
Barack Obama's vision was not to leave 10 million people uncovered. He wanted every single person in this country covered. My plan would do that. Your plan would not.
They do not have to buy in. They do not have to buy in.
You just said that. You just said that 2 minutes ago. You just said 2 minutes ago that they would have to buy in. You said they would have to buy in.
Have to buy in. If she qualifies for Medicaid,
are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago?
Are you
forgetting already what you said just 2 minutes ago? I mean, I can't believe that you said 2 minutes ago that they had to buy in, and now you're saying they don't have to buy. You're forgetting that.
Well, you heard the reaction from the crowd there when Castro brought up the specter of forgetfulness and Joe Biden. But nevertheless, healthcare likely to be a driving issue here. I thought it was really interesting that you saw this back and forth between Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Biden, who says, look, this idea that you have of universal health care, of Medicare for all, is going to just be too crazy, too expensive. Kayla, it was really a sharp division.
It was an extremely sharp division, and Biden has been trying to own the center here, and he very clearly did it last night. We heard from advisors in the lead up to last night that he was planning to attack both of those candidates for the impracticality of their visions and the fact that it would be so difficult to pay for them. And that's exactly what he did. And in some cases, Elizabeth Warren specifically had a difficult time answering that. She was asked by the moderators whether middle-class taxes would go up, and she did not answer that question. You also saw at least 5 candidates try to associate themselves with the Affordable Care Act and praise former President Barack Obama for the work that he did to transform health care. But if that halo effect, in fact, works for voters this time around, it's the vice president who's going to be able to benefit the most from that.
John, what do you make of this pendulum swinging on in the Democratic Party, that you've got a group of candidates who are very far to the left and trying to pull the party off to the left, when you have another group of candidates who are like, hey, let's just win back the middle and anyone but Trump. Try to beat Trump in this next election. How does this whole debate play into what happens in the next couple of months for the Democrats?
Well, I think the biggest thing that came out of this debate, Contessa, was that those moderates, led by Joe Biden, but backed up by Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg and Beto O'Rourke, they stood up and did not cede the moral high ground on health care. They were making the argument forcefully that they have more practical ways to move the ball on this issue, as Barack Obama did when he was president. On previous debates, the Democrats who are considered moderate were a little bit more on their back foot and kind of deflecting. Now, Joe Biden, because he felt the need to be forceful and vigorous, led that fight. And I think that is will redefine the debate a little bit as we get more deeply into the fall. And as for Julian Castro, that was just a bad look for him, especially because he was not accurate in what he said about Joe Biden. That was an extremely personal line of attack. That is not going to help him at all.